Okay. So before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that this is a not a real counseling session. This is a role play session for my pursuit and getting a master's degree in family and marriage therapy. So I appreciate you guys participating in this session. Let's begin. And what I want to do is go back to last week when we met. You guys, primary purpose for our meeting was that you guys were having some conflict within the marriage, um, stemming from your daughter's behavior, your 17-year-old daughter. But after we kind of got into discussion, we really kind of identified that the issues that you were having in your marriage were not so much in relationship to your daughter, but normal marriage related issues. But the actions of your daughter were really bringing those to the forefront. So I'd like to start with you, Smith, because last week you mentioned that from your point of view, you thought your daughter's behavior was normal. You thought that you mentioned that growing up without a dad. So tell me, what did you feel about being a boy growing up without his father?
Um, Although at the time you got to be frustrated because all I had was my mom. She was my mother and my father, and she couldn't teach me to be a man.
Okay.
And every baseball game or whatever I had, I had my mother there. I had my father with children. I always had my mother. So and I tried to be a good kid. So I mean, I may have gotten into a little mischief here or there, but pretty much I was a pretty much straightforward kid. I didn't have any problems. I didn't give my mother problems. That nature. I guess that's how I'm looking at it because I'm looking at my life as a child in my perspective.
Okay. So tell me, what was your mom's attitude towards you?
My mother's attitude towards me was great. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a hard lady. I mean, she was strict, but she allowed me to be who I was. She didn't stop me from going places or doing things that I wanted to do. As long as I did them the way she wanted, that the way that she wanted me to do them. If she said be home at such and such a time, I should have been home at such and such a time. Okay.
Okay.
And I followed the rules as a child. I just had my mother.
Okay. And what about the social and economic position of your family as a child?
Um, Social and economically, it was she bust her butt. She worked hard
Okay.
to provide for me and my siblings.
Okay.
And she eventually things got better as times went along because she recently remarried, so things got better. Things that got better. At least I thought until we ran into some problems with alcoholism in the family with her fiance.
Okay. Okay. So would you say that your motive, your drive for work stems from your remembrance as a child of your mom's work ethic and perhaps what the lifestyle that you live?
Yes, and I can also forward that to my father as well because he was a hardworking man, but like I said, alcoholism and you know, the man would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. First thing he would have is a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Alcoholism was a big problem, and so I seen both sides. I seen her working. I seen both of them working. I mean, he was a hard worker because he had to support his habit.
Okay.
He went to work daily, but just loving wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. What are your how is your behavior towards your stepdad?
It was great at first, but then I got to see that other side of it,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
it didn't turn out so well.
Okay. And Veronica, let me kind of ask you a little bit as well on this side. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. How is you know? Tell me something about your childhood. Do you see any related relationship between yourself and Lindsay as child, as Lindsay's?
As a child, when I was in high school, I I think I was a pretty good kid. I didn't really get in trouble. I mean, I got in trouble one time in the 4 years of my high school. My dad had to come up to the school. Other than that, I didn't get in trouble. I remember one time, as a teenager, I snuck, or maybe I would say I lied to my parents. I told them I was going to the mall, and we found out the mall was open, and I got in trouble for that. But other than that, I was a pretty good kid. I did what I was told to do. Um, I had a lot of siblings, so I was kind of a spoiled child. I didn't want for much because I had brothers that gave me everything I wanted, and so I think I was a pretty good kid. I did have attitude problems.
Okay. So what were some of your outstanding personality traits as a child? And give a couple examples.
If I was told no, I would get mad because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. So when I was told no, I would get mad, and if I pouted long enough, one of my siblings would give it to me, or I would, OMG, I would go running to dad if I didn't get my way, and wow, dad would give me what I wanted, or plus at one of my siblings, so I got what I wanted.
Okay. So do you see any of those personality traits in Lindsay?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think I just put it out there. If I could get what I wanted, I could run into dad, and dad made it happen.
Okay. All right. Good. So a couple more questions, um, and then we'll kind of move forward. If um, what are you guys most afraid of in relationship to your marriage, and then in relationship to your life? What are you most afraid of?
Well, I can answer that. Me, it's failure. I don't like failure. Simple, real simple for me. Failure is it for me.
What does failure mean to you?
Not being successful, not having. I seen my mother and father at an early age. Like I said, I was maybe 3 or 4 years old when they went their separate ways. The effect that it has, never having to see your father after that. You know, I mean, I've seen him growing up from time to time. You know, but and he, like I said, he's an alcoholic. And he was really unresponsive to what was going on in our lives. So, and when I really did get a chance to go back to as an adult, it wasn't any different. You know what I mean? It was, I mean, I love my father, don't get me wrong, because he was my father. My mother never spoke bad about him, but, so I couldn't say anything bad about him because I was never taught anything bad about him.
Okay.
I still gave him that respect.
Yeah, that's very good. And what about you, Veronica?
Because I was brought up in a parent house. That's all. That's what I want for my kids. You know, I never want them to be in a family with just one parent, just a single parent. I didn't want to disappoint, you know, disappoint the kid.
Is it that you didn't want to disappoint the kids, or you didn't want to disappoint yourself?
Maybe myself.
Do you think it would have mattered to your kids if you were in a single family home or whether you were married?
No, I think if they had a choice of having me as a single parent and being functional and happy, I think they would have been happy with that.
Okay. Okay. So when you consider where you guys are in your marriage, some of the issues that you're having, how would you say your childhood is impacting the way you're thinking and some of your behavior right now?
I would say with me because it's impacting the marriage or the kid.
The marriage.
Well, because
If you think about what you said, how you feel that Smith isn't taking this issue serious, and you feel that he's always at work. You feel that he is never there. And so if you think about what you said, your childhood was you always got what you wanted. If you pouted long enough for you, then you got what you wanted. So how is that mindset perhaps driving your motives?
well, actually, it has worked out pretty good because from the last meeting we were in until now, Smith and I have had a lot of conversation. He's been off all week, and he's decided that he is going to get a small business loan so that he can open up a trucking company of his own so that he will be at home with the kids and I all the time. So
So
I guess
is it working out because you're getting what you want, or because
well, because I'm getting what I want and I want him not to work so much and I want him home because of the problems that
so
we're
it's
having.
interesting. If I can interject here, it's very interesting. So Smith is going to pursue a business. And one of the things that he said he feared the most was failure. So how are you going to be able to deal with that, Smith? How are you going to manage that? Because having your own business, there's a tremendous amount of responsibility. And in some ways, Veronica, even though he may be home, emotionally, he may not be there because of the toll of trying to manage this business and ensuring that he doesn't fail. So, there are some dynamics there that you guys need to probably consider. I applaud you, Smith, because you are facing one of your fears, and that is failure by starting pursuing your own business. Veronica, I think you perceive this as a positive, which it is, because he's going to be home. But that doesn't necessarily solve the expectation that you get what you want all the time.
No, it probably won't, but I mean, just him being here, and if I have to step in and help him run the business, I'm willing to do that.
Okay. And is that something that you would want, Smith?
Yeah, that would be fine because, like I said, I want to open up my business. I've been in trucking for 25 years. I have a lot of knowledge about trucking, and I also have some relatives that also in the business that are willing to me out and get me started. You know,
Okay.
with the ins and outs.
Okay. So let me go back, Tom Smith, because you never answered the question. Your childhood, how is that impacting where you are in your marriage today? How is that impacting how you're dealing with your daughter's behavior issues? How you're dealing with your wife saying that, you know, you're not taking it serious?
Well, it goes back to, you said my childhood, how it impacted me as a child. Knowing that my mother and father failed in their marriage, that's not something I wanted to do, is fail in my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Have failed once,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't, you know, it wasn't very pleasant. So I don't, like I said, you know, that stems from me not wanting to fail, is seeing them separate, and you know, it's hard being a child, being in a single family home, you know, because you don't get to see both parents. I didn't get to see her side of her mother and father. I mean, don't get me wrong, my mother provided and did all the things that she had to do, but the things that she had to do to get to where she was probably wasn't the most pleasant things that we had to deal with. But, you know, we rose above it.
Okay.
It's a challenge for me, but hey, and maybe that's what, as far as it entails with Lindsay, maybe I was spoiled in a way, and keep things from being sheltered, more or less, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. So are you spoiling? Would you say you are continuing that pattern with Lindsay?
Probably, yeah, I would probably say that because I pretty much had my way when I was a child. Even just with the mother, you know, I pretty much didn't want for anything, didn't need for anything.
And having your way as a child, how did that impact you as an adult from being accountable for behavior? So, for instance, your daughter's behavior, how are you holding her accountable for that behavior?
Probably not holding her accountable for her behavior because, like I said, I see her and me and her.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I wasn't a bad child. I'm hoping that she's not a bad child. Maybe it's just the phase that she's going through. I don't know, but I'm willing to work on that. That's why I'm staying home or going into the business so I can see what's going on, and that way I can delegate from this point on how I want, you know, how I perceive things to be.
Okay. Interesting. So so what if I've heard that you guys are both taking responsibility, right? To change some of the dynamics to try and accommodate each other, right? How will you guys apply that towards Lindsay's behavior? Let me start with you first, Veronica.
I think with both of us being here, he'll be able to see the problems that I saw with Lindsay when he was.
Let's exclude him from your answer.
Okay. Um, I think I think Lindsay will be happier. She and I will probably be able to see eye to eye, and I'll look back at my childhood, how I was when I was in high school, just seeing a couple of the things that I got in trouble for doing when I was in high school. that Lindsay's getting in trouble for, and I would just try not to be so hard on her. I guess because when I got in trouble, I didn't, the consequences that I'm giving her, my parents didn't give me. They would punish me, but then they would turn around and take me off of punishment. And I'm not that easy with Lindsay. I'm really hard on her. So I think if I just kind of ease up off of her a little bit, she would be more open to me. She wouldn't feel like she would have to sneak and, you know, tell me she's doing one thing and she's not doing something else. And I think she would do better in school as far as her grades and stuff.
Okay. All right.
I kind of feel like with me being so hard on her, I could be pushing her to that wrong crowd.
Okay. Smith, what about towards Smith? In your communication with him, we talked about last week. You talked about how you would get angry, you would yell.
And as far as that, I would start talking to him in a manner that I would want him to speak to me, and I wouldn't want him flying off the handle and yelling at me. So I'm gonna talk to him in a manner that I would want to be spoken to.
Okay, good. And Smith, what about you?
As for me and handling Lindsay, I think it's going to take a little bit more. Probably a little bit more counseling to get used to it as being a father, more or less. You know, because like I said, I had a mother. Didn't have a father really. I had men in my life, but they didn't teach me to be a father. Pretty much I taught myself how to be a man. So in order to raise your children, you need to see somebody being raised. You know, and I didn't do that.
Right.
Didn't get that. So it'll probably be a little harder for me to accept things the way they are. I have to keep praying about it and keep working on it. And like she said, spend more time with the family and Lindsay and see what's really going on in her life. Hopefully things are not as bad as they are. But maybe she's, like I said, maybe just a little rebellion here or there. But, you know, kids are going to be kids.
Got it. Okay.
Counseling, me and her would probably have to go through some type of counseling for as far as father and child.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, we're coming to the end of our time. And what I'd like to do is, from a homework standpoint, is have both of you begin to document some childhood memories, right? And what those childhood memories meant to you, what they mean to you today now that you're an adult. As a kid, they meant one thing, but now that you're an adult, they mean another thing, right? And what are your behaviors and motives in relationship to those memories, right? And then how you can change, if you believe there's things that need to be changed in relationship to how you function within the marriage, right? Okay. Whether that's fears that you are, because of fears, things that you deflect and don't deal with because it's it brings back certain memories, or whether that is desires or dreams that you've wanted but you put off because now you are where you are. And sometimes those types of things could be subtly having an impact on how you relate to each other and how you even think of yourself. Okay. All right. Okay. Is there any questions for me or anything else that for me that you'd like to ask or discuss?
No, I don't have any questions.
I think I'm good.
Okay. How do you guys feel about today's session?